Ladies and gents, it is official. CD Projekt Red has just confirmed that the recent expansion leaks were nothing but fakes, and not just any type of fakes, the type that don't even add up, according to the company's PR director. I'm glad to say that those were quickly disproven after some of yesterday's leaks going on, and just from a glance they would have likely made for a pretty uninteresting update anyway, which means that, yeah, this leaves a lot of room for a lot of other cool ideas for CD Projekt Red to implement and other cool directions they could bring the game into. As always, a like on this video would be greatly appreciated, and let's begin. Now, for those of you who paid no attention to the recent leaks, there was a pretty substantial one yesterday, at least in terms of claims, that suggested CDPR would be planning a big live stream and update revealed sometimes around next month, with a soft relaunch of the game also planned around the same time. And this new free DLC would be bundled with new stuff, including new weapons, apartment customization, new game plus, and some other pretty far-fetched, let's just say, features, including a barbershop or multiple barbershops, and also improved AI. And obviously none of these were substantiated as most leaks go, but it didn't take too long for the company's PR director to come in and quickly disprove all of this in a post over on Twitter. So this thing does not even add up, is what he mentions in his Twitter post on January the 3rd, and leaves it pretty much at that. There's no further explanation, which obviously left a lot of players, including me, to ask ourselves, well, if this thing does not add up, what does? Because there were quite a lot of, well, let's just say, features in that supposed leak that fans might have probably asked for. There's quite a number of them that I would definitely love to see in Cyberpunk 2077 at some point. Like, does this mean that we aren't getting any barbershops in the future, or character customization options, or are we not getting improved AI or apartment customization or new weapons? I don't think that that is what they meant here. I'm pretty sure that these things at some point or another would be implemented. I'm pretty sure that at least new weapons will be a part of the game, and maybe even a new game plus feature eventually will be, like, for sure added in Cyberpunk 2077. What's likely being mentioned here is in regards to the first paragraph and the first few claims that seem quite, let's just say, far-fetched, as I've said in yesterday's video, with Cyberpunk getting a supposed soft relaunch. I think that that's the part that the PR director might be referring to, or maybe the fact that the next-gen upgrade and the patch are bundled together, or the fact that the DLC, which contains so many things, would be free. Again, as I've said in yesterday's video, CD Projekt Red doesn't treat DLCs as other companies do. For them, a DLC is just a small piece of content, a clothing piece, a weapon, or maybe a new car that is delivered in the game for players for free. Meanwhile, expansions is what they keep for larger content size updates that implement some of the stuff that the leak then further mentions. So yes, in that case, I would expect CD Projekt Red to not release that for free, since they have never done so and would likely cost a sum of money. In any case, I'm glad that this was quickly disproven, because they would have made for a pretty lousy update. Like, sure, a garage or maybe a barbershop and some new weapons sounds nice, but would they really extend your gameplay that much more? Like, would you spend another 10, 50, 100 hours in the game because you got a barbershop feature that you will use for just a couple of minutes in your entire play session? Maybe an improved AI would be nice, but not really a focus for an expansion, rather a patch update or something. And everything else just sounds like somebody's wish list, and something that is a no-brainer at this point for anybody who spent even 5 minutes in Cyberpunk 2077. This means there's potentially other really great ideas that the company might be thinking of implementing, maybe even something that would take us totally by surprise. What we do know though is that at the beginning of 2022 we have both the next gen upgrade as well as the first expansion set around the first quarter of the year, which again could suffer changes like how this roadmap already has done so a couple of times in the past. So I wouldn't like completely go by this as of yet until CD Projekt Red actually 100% confirms it. But there's lots of fan ideas and concepts out there that make a lot more sense, to be honest, than many of these leaks, and I would love to see that being implemented instead. Like, recently there's a pretty awesome fan suggestion over on Reddit for a gang reputation and turf war system. How about that instead of just plain AI changes and improvements? That would be a lot better, and would also go in tune with some of the stuff that CD Projekt Red was advertising before the game's release. I'm actually planning on a pretty big video for the second half of this week that focuses on some of these features that never made it into the game, even though CD Projekt Red heavily marketed them. Nonetheless, this is just one of them, but there's one final topic that I do want to discuss. We've been talking about Cyberpunk 2077 in the context of the Game of the Year awards. Well, CD Projekt Red did actually nab a prize for the 2021 Steam Awards. It's not the Game of the Year though. That title actually went to Resident Evil Village, which makes a lot of sense because it was a really awesome game. But Cyberpunk was pretty high up there at the top. It was in the top 5 with other games like Forza Horizon 5, Valheim, and also New World, despite many of the problems on launch. So I'm kind of awesome to see it, but Cyberpunk did indeed win a category, but a different one in the same 2021 Steam Awards in the Outstanding Story-Rich Game category, right there at the top against, again, Resident Evil Village, but also Life is Strange, Days Gone re-release on the PC, and Mass Effect Legendary Edition. And I can believe that it actually won, but it definitely seems that the fans are appreciating that this is CD Projekt Red's biggest strengths with the game right now. The fact that it has a really interesting story, really cool setting, some really awesome characters, and I might argue some cool choices in there. There's plenty of choices in many of the missions and even the main story that kind of warrant it the RPG title. But on a final note, as I've said, 2022 has a lot of really exciting things in store for Cyberpunk fans, not just the game, but like the entire genre in general, because the showrunner for Cyberpunk, Edge Runners, which is also one of the creators from CD Projekt Red, and like pretty much the executive producer for the anime that's about to release on Netflix, has recently confirmed that the anime is still on track to release in 2022. Right now, he was able to confirm that the anime is still in production, but when they are ready, they will drop a trailer. And this anime has been in pre-production for 3 years at this point, with 1 year of production. So it already sounds really awesome. This is pretty much CDPR's work for at least 3 years at this point. Like, they produced and wrote this story and also worked really close with Studio Trigger. And Studio Trigger is what makes me so hyped for this anime, because at least some of the people working at the studio have also worked on other projects that I really loved, like recently BNA. It's a really top tier quality anime with some really top tier animations all throughout. And the cherry on top here is that Netflix did not actually get involved in the creative process of Cyberpunk Edge Runners at all, which probably means there's going to be some really cool story as well. So all throughout, no CGI, just 2D anime as it's supposed to. And I'm really curious if CD Projekt Red is going to prepare something to coincide with the release of that anime, because I believe there's going to be a huge attention to that anime even outside of the player base. There's probably going to be a huge influx of players just from the fact that the anime gets released. So I kind of hope that CD Projekt Red will get some cool content prepared for that, or at least some kind of in-game event. In any case, totally let me know down below in the comments which one of these are you most excited for. And as always, we're trying to reach 400,000 subs until the end of 22. Yes, you heard that right. 400,000 subscribers. I think it's totally possible, but not without your help. So just pressing that subscribe button below this video would do me a huge favor. It's absolutely free, and you would also join a community of really awesome people. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time.